everybody, today we're going to be doing something a little different. I thought it would be fun if you all got to know my very first Has-Been Hotel OC, Haffy. Now, before I get into her whole backstory and lore, this is kind of a pre-lore thing. So, originally, Haffy was mostly designed to be on a business card, and she was actually going to be an ice cream themed demon. But I got inspired by one of the workers on Has-Been Hotel whose main icon image was neon at the time. So I went ahead and made her neon colored. I had never used those colors before. I was completely new to it, but when I was done, she was super obnoxious and bright, and I loved it. Also, when she was fully finished for my business card, she technically didn't have a body. She was just head and shoulders, so I didn't officially come up with the outfit until much later. I think I was sitting at work one day and I decided to do like a full body, and I just came up with a simple crop top and shorts. And I remember originally her top and shorts were just going to be black and white, but when I started coloring, I realized I didn't really like those colors with the rest of her. It looked weird. So I went with a more rainbow theme, with the black balancing out each individual color. And not only that, as you can see, her head is severed from her body. That was a style choice in the beginning. So when people started asking me why her head wasn't attached to her body, I realized I might need to come up with a story for this character, because all I had down in my notes at the time was that she was an 80s themed demon. So here's her overall story, so to speak. So when Haffy was alive, her human name is Brandy, and she was born in the late 70s and grew up all through the 80s. When she turned 15 is when she started getting to drinking and partying, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there, because once she turned 18, she ran away from home. And I don't want people thinking that she ran away from home because of issues at home. She had basically what you would consider a very nice and welcoming family. She just has a lot of pent-up aggression, and it's kind of turned into a fear of showing anybody that kind of level of anger that she can get to. So she basically just hides how she really feels 24/7, and it's kind of built up into her, having explosive episodes that nobody really pays attention to. But her family is very sweet and kind to her. They're just really bad at noticing the signs with her. So that's the reason why she leaves home. When she does end up leaving, she becomes a roadie, which is basically somebody who follows bands all over the country. And she does this for about 6 months, and during that 6 months, she starts getting into more heavy drugs and, is just trying to keep up with, the whole roadie lifestyle and everybody else that she meets. But anyway, she eventually gives up, traveling with them and hops off the bandwagon, so to speak, and basically just hops from place to place, not really having anywhere to go and just hanging out with people she doesn't know all over the place. And then also getting her hands on like the good stuff becomes too expensive for her, so Haffy starts experimenting and eventually gets into huffing since it's cheaper. Fair warning, please do not huff. It's so bad. Like, I work at a theater company and we use spray paint for a lot of stuff, and I can tell you it's not fun. Anyway, though, she eventually gets to the point where she is so desperate to get her hands on her next fix that she attempts to rob a corner store. Obviously, corner stores don't have spray paint, but she's so blitzed out of her mind that she doesn't realize that. Eventually, though, the clerk is able to scare her off, and she takes off running, like sprinting, and basically blacks out. She has no idea where she is or how she's gotten to where she is, and by the time she knows what's going on, it's already too late. She somehow ends up on the freeway and basically causes a 9-car collision, and one of the car's hubcap manages to fly off and decapitate her on sight, leaving her headless and a good chunk of her hair cut off. That's why she's got that bob. Originally, Haffy was also considered to be an ink demon, but technically she's an oil demon. She just passes as an ink demon. The neon colors are due to her absorbing spray paint. It's what keeps her sane and happy. If the colors start to drip, or if her color fades, she's basically turning into her true demon form, and that's not a good sign, because Haffy has no control over this demon form and will go absolutely buck wild when it appears. and I will put the full version of what this form looks like in the little corner right there. Okay. But anyway, when she's in this full demon form, she has no control over it and will do anything to get her next fix. Her demon form kind of acts like an animal. Its main goal is to find spray paint anywhere it can and won't hesitate to kill someone in order to get it. I do have a comic about Happy's first few moments in hell. I will leave the link in my description, so if you want to read that, you can. Go ahead. But anyway, back to this. When Happy is full of color, though, she is very bright, super aware of everything, and it basically acts normal. Like, she seems like a normal person when she's full of color. And she's just super happy and nice to everyone. She wants everyone to be her friend so badly. And with that mentality comes some issues, mainly because she's so dead set on making. She doesn't realize that she's being used half of the time, or that they don't want to be her friends, but because of how curvaceous she is, they think they can exploit her. Also, fun fact-ish about another character, Happy has a boyfriend named Pyro. They are only a year in death. They're both 80s kids, but they have completely different tastes in music and fashion. He's into hard metal grunge, she's into pop. And then this is cute, this is how they meet, basically. So they basically meet at a club where someone is trying to basically drug Happy, but that kind of stuff doesn't really work on her, but he doesn't know that. So Pyro goes out of his way to basically protect her, and they become very close very fast, which is alarming for both of them because they've never had that kind of connection before with anyone, and they fall for each other pretty quick. They go through the motions of, getting used to one another, getting used to the fact that they can't physically touch due to the fact that Pyro is a fire demon, and because Happy is considered, toxic in the form of spray paint and oil, they can't really touch, but they do get used to it and eventually do learn that it works better for them. Due to issues that Pyro has, he has internalized issues about being touched, and Happy throughout the years eventually does find out that she is asexual, so any kind of physical touch is unwelcomed, so they don't touch very often. It's rare do they ever do anything, but they love each other very much, so. But anyway, the first few years of them being together, they live in the cannibal colony, and the only reason they're able to do that is because Happy can actually color change. She can manipulate her color to match, whatever. So she grayscales herself in order to match the aesthetic, and then Pyro becomes accepted due to the fact that he's the only one that knows how to make a decent cannibal dish. They end up becoming semi-popular with the residents of the colony, Happy having a Betty Boop aesthetic, so everyone likes that. But eventually they do run into Alistair, and he ends up finding out about Happy not being truly the colors that she is, and tries to trick her into making a deal with him, but she doesn't want anything to do with him. She knows better and walks away. Pyro, on the other hand, does take Alistair up on the offer, and that kind of puts a strain on their relationship, but they don't say anything about it. That's the thing with them. They won't talk about their issues. They kind of just ignore it and leave it at that. Eventually, though, they do kind of make it big, so to speak. Since Pyro and Happy are very heavily influenced in their time period's music, they're able to form a pretty popular band. It's not popular enough, as some of the other demons there, but they have enough following and enough revenue to keep it up. And eventually, the music scene starts to die down, but they use some of the cash that they already have to buy a nicer place a little bit further away from the city, and the studio that they worked at for quite a while basically hires him to be their editor for other musicians, while Happy, on the other hand, is mostly just there to help him and help with. She's not good at editing, but she is relatively good at songwriting and composing, so they work together doing that most of the time. But, they've been in hell for about 35 years now. They kind of have died down when they first arrived, so they're kind of just living through the motions. And the thing right now between them that's causing a little bit of stress and rocking the boat is the fact that Pyro wants to go to heaven. He believes in Charlie's cause, and he voices about it to Happy all the time. And she agrees with him, but she is basically just lying to his face. She does not want to go to heaven. She's terrified of the thought of going there. She feels like she won't be as free as she is here in hell, where she's allowed to do horrible things and, not be 100% judged on it. She just doesn't know what to do. But that's basically her story as of right now. I mean, it can go either way till the, first official episode is released, because I usually change a bunch of stuff when the show becomes more canon and, more lore and story starts coming out. That way my characters can fit a little bit better. But, I mean, I hope you really enjoyed getting to know this character. She has become a big inspiration for a lot of the things that I do, and and I know a lot of you are going to have, something to say about her color and how bright she is, but please keep in mind that the reason I choose these things are because there is a deeper meaning behind all of it. All my characters have, something about them that someone doesn't like, but they have a deeper meaning behind it. And, like everyone says, you can't judge a book by its cover. And you guys don't know this, but I've kind of let people subconsciously stop me from drawing her because of all the, backlash for this character. And, after a while you get tired of it, but I'm not doing that anymore because she means the world to me, and I plan to start putting her back into projects that do revolve around her. She is my first. Anyway, I hope you all can grow to love her as much as I do, and I hope you can get excited for the future of my other OCs. I will be expanding their universe. I will be more involved with them than I used to be. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one where I gender bend Fizzaroli, or Fizzarelli, as I'm going to call her. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope everyone has a good day. Bye!